The engines are very excited. This year marks the golden jubilee of running the line. Why are we celebrating this occasion? Asked Richard and Roger together. They'd never been on the island for that long. The same goes for Sarah. Well, the reason for that, said the manager who arrived, 50 years ago is the completion of the grand opening of the restoration of the Peel Godric branch line. This is the second creation of the line. The first time was many years ago in the 1940s until it ended around the 1970s and the 80s. And now all of us are now running the line now. And I want this to make it a special occasion. Are we expecting a royal guest, sir? Exactly, Joyce. Now, I'm not sure which one is which is coming over, but it would be a surprise. Now, I want all of you to continue your work as usual. Yes, sir. Five days later, Hamish is taking a passenger train from Peel Godric back to Kildane. It was a non-stop run, which only lasted about 3 times per month. Hamish enjoyed it, as he felt like that he can pick up speed when he arrived and be there on time. Or so he thought. He approached the forest, he began to slow down. He was told that he had to be careful at this part of the line. The line ran through some trees and bushes and a river. All the engines had to take great care when they entered down this part of the line to avoid a bird strike. The moment Hamish went around the bend, a flock of birds flew above him, and one of them nearly hit his face. Whoa! That was close. Then suddenly he began to stop. What happened? Had a bird hit something? The guard checked if all the passengers were alright, while Hamish's driver checked over him. But he couldn't find anything wrong. That's strange, said his driver. Nothing seems to be wrong with you. It's very strange indeed, said Hamish. Everything seemed to be fine until the bird nearly hit me. Then his driver realized something. He looked at the front and found the problem. There it is. The bird must have knocked the lid part of one of your feeding pipes. Really? I didn't know anything about that. Well, Gordon told me about that he had an incident with a bird. Really, Hamish, said his driver and guard. Yes. Right, we better carry on as usual then, but we got to proceed slowly. And they did. He arrived at Kildane late but safely. He was uncoupled and went over to the shed to be checked over by the inspector. Well, Hamish. You got an encounter with an animal. A small matter is no problem for me. Don't get too much in that, Dan. You might get one soon, and all the jokes will turn bad onto you. Dan didn't care. I will show you how I do it once I do on the next run. Seriously, Dan? You might want to be careful. It's not just birds, but I heard there was also rabbits. Rabbits? Small things. No problem for me. Overconfidence he is. You might want to be careful down the line there, Dan, said Lewis. I heard there's going to be some rabbits nearby. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Suit yourself then. But you better approach this very slowly. You never knew what's going to happen. No problem for me. And with that, Dan set off. Just before reaching Kildane, there's a countryside that runs beside the railway. There were often spots of rabbits nearby. What they do, sometimes they would go to the track and dig burrows underneath. With them digging burrows underneath the track, it weakened the track. As a result, speed restrictions had been placed near the line. Dan knew about it, but because he was so overconfident, he forgot about it. He went around the bend and saw the speed restriction sign. He slowed down, but it wasn't enough. Suddenly, the ground underneath him began to sink. Oh no! And suddenly his front wheels came off the track. Look out! Said his driver and stopped. The front bogies in the first carriage had come off the rails. Ooh, everything alright? Asked the guard. I'm fine. Oh dear, this cannot be good. Better get help. Sorry, old boy, said the driver. You haven't been so focused on that speed restriction over there. We wouldn't have derailed in the first place. The engine came to the rescue was Hamish. Oh no, it can't be. Well, Dan. Looks like you're too overconfident for it. Don't worry, we'll get you back on the rails in no time. How long is this gonna last? Well, we're gonna have to support the ground first before we can lift you back up. It might take a long while. How long? Not sure. Richard came and took the passengers away, while the workmen spent hours trying to get Dan back onto the rails with a few jacks. It was part of the challenge. It wasn't long until the crane lifted Dan back onto the rails and they took him home. Back at the sheds, the two of them made up. I didn't expect you to have a similar encounter with me for animals. You do know that, do you? Of course, Hamish. I'm sorry I was being overconfident. In future, we'll be more careful with animals.